Town of Salem, a game based off the childhood pastime in which a group of people would get together in an attempt to destroy a town. This version, however, includes more nefarious groups, serial killers, werewolves, witches, and many others, and allows the town's specific roles to increase defense. A doctor to attempt to heal those who are injured, a jailer to execute those who are guilty, sheriffs to investigate those who are acting suspicious, among many others. One of the most unique aspects of this game is the variety and depth of the musical score it utilizes, which helps engage the player and set the game in an immersive atmosphere that can't be found when just sitting around a table playing the game Mafia. The first glimpse of this world begins even before the player starts to play. When you enter the login screen, music begins to play, witches cackle, bells toll, all of which help set the scene for the world the player is about to enter. This segment repeats without end until the player logs in. Now, to analyze this music, the most obvious aspect is the initial bell toll, which sounds as though a bell tower is chiming in the middle of the night. That, accompanied with the cymbals and the lower ranged woodwinds and the bass, all give this deep and dark feeling to the music. And yet, the music is still mysterious and open-ended, as though anything can happen in this world, and yet there is still that dark atmosphere present. The woodwind melody that plays occasionally has a half step down and then half step back up that does not fit into the scale being used. This again adds unease and mystery to the melody being played. And that creates this atmosphere of possibility. There are also chimes, which sound like a breeze moving through the air, as though anything could happen, and even a slight breeze can change how a game can turn out, which, as a player plays, this is very much the case. One small word can sway the entire opinion of a town and turn the tide of a game for better or for worse. As you can see, even this introductory music provides the atmosphere into which all the players will be entering, and the rest of the music, as you will see, supports these similar themes. Once a player enters a game, there are two main portions: the daytime, in which the town finds out who has died the previous evening, is allowed to discuss any new information gathered the night before, and then they may vote up a person to be put on trial. If somebody is voted to be put on trial, a trial then ensues, in which that player is allowed to provide themselves a defense, and then the town may vote as to whether they think they are innocent or guilty. If they are found guilty, they are hung in front of the town. If not, the town may vote to put another person on trial. If nobody is put on trial, or if somebody is found guilty during the day, the town then returns to their homes for the evening. This brings about the second portion of the game, the night, during which killers kill, and the town attempts to determine who the evildoers are, to bring justice to them, or to attempt to heal those who might be injured during that evening. This first segment is from the first portion of the day, during which the town finds out who has been murdered the previous evening. This repeats until the game has gone through the information of each person who has passed away the previous evening. One of the most notable features of this piece is the soaring woodwind that comes in the second part of the segment. It rises above the rest of the music in a melody of sorrow and reverence in memory of those who have passed the previous evening. This feeling is furthered by the long bows on the string instruments in the background, and all other aspects of this music seem to serve as a way to remember and respect those who have passed away the night before. This next piece is the discussion music, during which those who remain alive discuss who they think might be committing all of these evil crimes against their town. The music itself seems to mirror the severity of the discussions being had, as well as the methodical process that occurs during these discussions. One of the most obvious features of this piece is the very methodical beat that occurs throughout. This, as I said earlier, helps support the methodical nature of the discussions that are being had during this time. Additionally, you hear from the flutes and the piccolo these high melodies that intertwine in a way that seems mysterious and almost sneaky as the piccolo rises above the rest of the melody and creates a sphere of uncertainty above this methodical rhythm throughout the piece. This next section is used while the players vote as to who they would like to put on trial this day. This music is reminiscent of war games in those brass instruments that represent honor and justice, as this section is highly reliant upon the town taking the information they have and trying to bring justice to those who are doing evil. This is the only piece that is heavily reliant upon brass instruments. And it shows, as I said earlier, a message similar to those in war games, one of justice, which is a very prominent theme in this section, as the players are attempting to bring justice to those who are doing evil. This is furthered by the strong drum beats, by the loud cymbal clashes. The cymbal clashes sound similar to two swords hitting as it would in a war game from long ago, as this game is set during the Puritan times, where sword fighting was a very common form of combat. This sound, again, is reminiscent of war games and the fight for justice, which is had in those games and is being had in the moments during which this score is being played.